Alright, so up until this point, we've been applying live effects to individual objects, individual strokes, individual fills, and so on. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my graphic styles palettes that I had open there. I'll move my appearance palette over to the right-hand side here. And what I can do is, rather than isolating individual objects, individual strokes and fills, I can have an effect applied to an entire layer all in one shot. So I'm going to keep this graphic here, my oval here, which I was just using. I'm going to keep it over in the top right corner here, just sort of as a reference. And then over in my layers palette, I'll pull this guy up on my screen. I'm going to go and create a brand new layer. So I just hit my new layer button down at the bottom there. I will lock layer 1 so that I don't accidentally change it. And you can see that's the layer that contains my oval there. There he is. Here's my layer 2. I'm going to double click on it and I'll rename it Jeff's Nifty Styles, and then OK. There it is. Now, I'm going to once again draw out some very basic shapes. Nothing too terribly exciting here. Just some simple objects to get us started. And then here's the cool part. Over in my Layers palette, I'm going to click on the target for the layer, this little dot here. And you can see right away the Appearance palette is telling me that the entire layer is selected. Let me just back up a second here. If I deselect and single click on an object, the Appearance palette tells me that I have a path selected with no stroke and an orange fill. But if I go and target the layer itself just by clicking on the little layer target, the Appearance palette changes and tells me that the entire layer is now selected. So now I'm going to go into my Effect menu. I'll go down to Stylize and then down to Feather. Here's a new effect for you. You might know about feathering from Photoshop. I'll turn on my preview, and this is what Feather does. It softens the edges of objects. But not just any objects that appear on the Jeff's Nifty Styles layer, because I targeted the entire layer. Now here's the cool part. I'm going to click on OK. I'll just take the defaults there. Very nice. And I'll go and draw some new shapes, and you might guess exactly what's going to happen. Any shapes that appear on this layer will now have this effect applied to it. I'll select this new rectangle here that I just drew and take a look at my Appearance palette. So it's telling me that it's a path with no stroke and the orange fill, but that path is a part of a layer, and I can see that the layer has this feather effect on it. Once again, I can double click on that, come in here, make some adjustments if I wish. Something like that. Click on OK, and away I go. So once again, I make sure that my layer is targeted, and the Appearance palette tells me so, and then I can go and apply whatever effect I'd like. Here's another neat one that you might want to try out, which is called Outer Glow. I've taken the defaults here so far, but what I could do is come in and click on my little color swatch and go and choose a different color that I'd like to use for my glow. Hit OK. See that happening there? So setting up Illustrator to apply effects to an entire layer is pretty cool. I have to be honest though, I don't use it that much myself, only because I like the ability to target individual strokes and fills and individual objects rather than the whole layer in one shot. However, that being said, I have used it every once in a while when a project demands it.